say ye ka say fuel a yen ye ton wo ye pumps no calculation at the same minimum ka say the dollar to the cedi now is 10.7
yeah
and a petrol no so the world market price the next pricing window no from the 16th of March 2026
upwards. Next week Monday
yeah bisa say fuel bo fango bo ebekosoro anase nkosoro but yen kwenko tie de President John Mahama Kanye wa brada obo entoa
Ukraine Russia war na Ukraine Russia omoko a efa ya Ghana for efa ye ho ben yeah tie baby Ukraine Russia war wo hwe wo tena play mu na wo ka say wo call Ukraine wo fi Accra 7,000 kilometers ansa no akodru na omo ko omo ntoko a den say yesika sem na Cote d'Ivoire so nka say Russia Ukraine na omo ko. And so,
a few moments later,
Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum.
Bebacho yes tie ye man panyin bio tama na wo bon to ase e beto abama no amana be di oman eso 2024 campaign was say Russian Ukraine war no e fa ye hu ben na se se asoso no ntokwa ekoso between Israel US on one side against Iran Gulf region no e no so e fa ye hu ben but yes tie bio
Ukraine Russia war na Ukraine Russia omoko a efa ya Ghana for efa ye ho ben yeah tie baby Ukraine Russia war wo hwe wo tena play mu na wo ka say wo call Ukraine wo fi Accra 7,000 kilometers ansa no akodru na omo ko omo ntoko a den say yesika sem na Cote d'Ivoire so nka say Russia Ukraine na omo ko. And so,
a few moments later,
Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum.
All right, but what you go?
Prof. Prof. And some ukrum ha.
That's some.
I see a penny share.
That's some more.
Russia Ukraine war. So be couldn't talk about. Russia and Ukraine. Couldn't talk about. Yeah, Ghana for the fire home. In another. Prof. Me, but Oman Penny John Dramani Mahama. As a Russia and Ukraine couldn't talk about. Yeah, Ghana for it here about 7,000 kilometers away from Russia. Fire home. Aye. Yani si andi enka hwe.
Man penyin na yo.
Bra no kwa pro.
Bra no
ba pro.
Say beto abama na be o man penyin.
Aye.
But a few moments later, I see Ghana is not immune to any global.
Oh, Prof, Ghana is not immune from the source of global event.
Aye.
Chese, if you say any yema ekosubiano, Ghana yenye secluded. Ye can't be. And to say Ukraine and Russia kontokwa. Send your di kaka send fire home. Now Israel is in Iran and can fire. But I say Ghana is not immune from the sort of global event. Ain't you no man penny? Yes, sir. Internet does not lie. Internet ain't intro.
But you would denga ye
betria. From what country? Obuakra.
There you.
You be kwashiamba. Ya somni so mu eso interest time krana ye be ye pie. Matoma panyi we di omre pie. Sena no de.
Asem na o man panyi ka no de. as from March 16th, we call a year fuel pumps now. Ebe kosoro kakra o.
And tonight is a global event in Akaya Neza.
Ukraine-Russia war. Now Ukraine-Russia almost Ghana for FIA. Yeah, it's your baby. Ukraine-Russia war. What's not play more now? Because we call Ukraine. Who've 7,000 kilometers and San Wakudru. No more common talk. Then say Yesika Sem. Na Cote d'Ivoire son kase. Say Russia, Ukraine no more. And so
a few moments later.
Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum.
All right, Patrick, what was that? For God and country, for Yanama Yasuda from you.
Hey, Yanni, be a better from the Yanim. Yasun da from papa,
da from papa,
Yamaya Domna on the 16th. Siako fuel pump. Na fuel no. A price ne free, baby. I was seeing. Echo baby for Frocon and Nimudia. And you're not the Mampani can say. Ukraine-Russia war and fire honor. Not just Iran when it and their fire because on one say Ghana is not immune from the shock of global events. And it's a next week Namayadum. That's a fuel price in cost through there. And not just say somehow.
But accident be a many boss. In fact, me share accident this
I hope it's a Voxy.
Oh, where the any Voxy as some accident be a many boss. My name is SARFO. They are bringing out, so they are bringing out. My checking a me.
Oh,
my checking a me. Sa accident no. Me ma cho eje for SARFO dey atoso. Me ma cho krom ha. Say bejo. Adichina. My uncle here.
Krom wa dey say bejo adi that.
Ana pay ya, say mo see ya.
Sompa.
Ba say mo no so ana pay ya. Say mo see ya ana pay ya no. Osun kofu no a hwere won kwa. Oh, I was say ana pay ya.
Me ma cho eje for but I did not call your Facebook was to see and I call her there. Jebidie Kebia. SARFO. Mo to call your Facebook was to see ya. Jebidie Kebia konya akwenhia. Na enya akwenhia ne wie ya. Ka no monitor ho no. Ya ko hwe ka na ase a. Ye de edimi nkase ye duboni o. Me ba to betimi call your Facebook was to see ya. Jebidie I say yellow slabs be slabs in the go any SARFO ya say edo say ayen na ehemu ye dey ntimi nka say du boni o but I said the omal rap I said we said the omal rap we sa pepe
since I rap here been a last week so that be your coaching go and it looks similar
you can say go your Facebook page na go
video car na se no
so is it supposed to be say video cars ahuru atwam nyina cars akase no anyam de niam a hya ase ara wait the number bu
we the nine no
the number bu yay
the nine bu pen
chale Ghana how uti pupu a wo video
na can say
ama sama bro ni yama shino
baby anyo yes how
me say uti pupu a wo bidi
nowhere cool baby anyo
wa another ho yeah
ba kwa no bi
what you say aya abonsam tower aya wi ni bia
we dey ensuro mi ka
new your friends and Chaco.
Chaco ni the end product
where the end product
ni right bi no hade ko renovate chako bia
chale Ghana amafo di suma se dwa
ai
wa hwe jabidie ka wo lodu a wo ko
ne magu ase
na hwe wo ka ase se nkwan na wo ye a ye beka se ye nkwohwe nkwan na ase
nkwan na ase nkwan ni hu potopros na ne magu ase
mo adwen se bia obi na atwam na ni dia ni bag
amasama bro
Amasama bro we
dey fa analysis we how you dey fa
Amasama bro we dey fa
sabio ya ni tuade sei
yeah
enya yellow bag we bi na last week yakwachi bi wa ya dey battle so we dey amasama bro
jebidie ka
emfa
but on a more serious note your post for they have to be up and doing
baby aka ni free ba
narcotics control board, they also have to be up and doing. Commission, they have to be up and doing. Because very, very disturbing and worrying. And the cats are car, and them gremu in ada. Oh, say, Jebidie car. Now, posting, say, not tip of pan, ye de Bamawa. Uber day, no, I say, Jebidie car will be classy. Now, Jebidie car be do a police barrier. What you got is open so search Jebidie card. Load the Jebidie in a bedding pa.
Where's when you accident? I think you.
Would there be when you accident?
What the film or cock?
Let us say, idea what I had that.
But propose anka advance kakra. Anka axil load areas no.
Yeah.
And Uncle Honey was say young
scanners. Yeah.
So that can no bar and best scan no be na scan can.
Yeah.
Anka we be say on say no.
Never be shase. I'm for this message.
Prof. But na me wo kwanso yi uto.
Ozere.
Na me wo kwanso be yi uto.
Obey you to. Obey you to brutal. Obey you to brutal.
But prof what's that you say? Cars ni bia mo load Jebidie no.
Yeah.
I was say yamba because Kia track to ko load Jebidie o. No dey ahoma. Asoso. Who face can from afar to mu say cars ni
Atia. And one say the most dangerous aspect of it, the Grandma Sama Bro, they say car ne air background. On to me, you soon driving mirrors.
No.
Because the
beginner cover so
great.
Beginner cover. Now, Prof, kwawu be poniso.
Yeah.
Asa mu ko fa bi fi oba. Na de bia car ni bi mini.
Jebidie car.
Oh yeah. Kwawu be poniso, kwawu mountain no. De bia almost every day.
I you know, you be say why duty. And also say car say no. Overload it. Ghana area, I don't know.
Obi to office be a channel guy so yes adwuma.
And Voxy accident no so.
Voxy
and also made them out. Oh, sir. Voxy bio. Voxy. Just a Voxy did there. Now what tribia no. Yeti ho asem.
Yes, am bomb so.
Total Voxy. Every week bia yeti ho asem money.
And when I made a TikTok video of one edu appear something on TikTok.
Yeah.
Or say, obi the vox ni be brain. Say onye hu adwuma. Na on say can me ba na steering ni were right. Enti omu yi move ya left no.
Yeah.
Hydraulic in there wo hon. And one bend be. Meanwhile, it's not supposed to be bent. Enti no ama car ni speed no. Are serious? Am I breaking in the nyina no? Aye, me video me the best and do.
Sir. What's it?
Was it Vox no be the brand no ye hu adwuma no. O change you know, safo hu. O change steering na ko right to left no. And one bend hydraulic ni bi there wo bonnet ni ho no. SSS ye bend.
Na
enti a maka ni speed no.
Safo ene da ho no. Last week the just a Vox did here. On those ones throw ferry obia. Every week be our benumuja. As some way ya National Road Safety Authority for be responded. Say what must set up a committee to look into aya Vox cars. Whether you be more crime or colon journey. And now colon journey. Up till now, National Road Safety Authority. Enter. Ejamuna wa ye na what was he saying?
Enter.
Me ba cho nhwehwemu a wo mo ye fa Vox kai ho National Road Safety Authority ye bisa bo say akwa kosi sen. Akwa kosi sen. National Road Safety Authority. What was he saying? Ghana pa.
Asemo prof.
Before be overtake you way. Share car me use before bet me ye car way be. Would you already so call 160 to 180?
Oh, but last debut means last if you come and say I made by. Me car benzi. Me the buy 120, 130 na EBO.
120.
120, 130.
Then ABR.
That's how driver don't call.
Yeah. Speed on more. And what was it? I said Kumasi Road no soon share net.
Yeah.
They have to just have a look at it. The carnage on our roads, no, serious.
Over 2,000 lives, getting to 3,000
in some countries.
Last year.
That's serious. Now, might be cry. Let me question the dead body. Eddie, living people.
Hey,
I'm Brody. My enjoyment, Brian. I will get into the matters proper.
Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Ghana had the OBN says a prostate. Na baby omutibi screening. Emma huni ye etuasia. Na a Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Anasa a kidney, a liver problem. Wofa baby and ajujo. Na the funny premature ejaculation noa. Be maybe a one would offer quaquisia. As a wood dinner huagro. As a wood tonte. Any a bra Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Na ya muau. A man mema mo power. A Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Wamu de mufua. Yari bia. Infections been a woho. Anasa bia wosha wofa baby na ajuju kidney problem prostate die Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic kuma se ubehu Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic ewo konoma boy here na Accra hanso so die wo mu gina mu ankasa ewo Spintex baby friend share signboard no hudu na ubusasa wo pe Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic obia ebechiro for Endpoint ewo 0244867068 and 0274234321 Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic wo mu demu fu
Ewra me pacho bra na me hwa de wo bagi
bra aden ena nso biem
time heba me hya ya me ka se yi ba kwin ani wayi me ensen
bra sanya time heba me hya esia gyimi ni me fiefo enya de abako ebeso yen
we de udi se ofani nyina
time heba me hya me ka se me di one dance ya heaven ena de me kwa akopie enti se malaria we draw ne time heba mixture
enye enunku o de nanum ato a wontimi anidie no time heba mixture duro no ena ye ma oba a wofa afuro de o ma akoda nofo ene akoda woni mfie dumienu entimi num aduro yi bi se obeto aduro yi bi anoma hwe se wakọ hospital anase lab ame yehu se wo atridie malaria yi bi ansa se o petam heba mixture enu dudu atu a fo ani kire KNG Herbal Center ewo Emrom Abidjan House ana ba ko so wo atonsu Monaco Junction
eno echi obenya bi atowo over the counter medicine sellers ene herbal shop dodo na emu
Fre 0244417669
kayo set time no TIME time heba mixture afi malaria fever bi adani ziba ewo munu betu akọ
FDA agi adwade nkratoa yi atu
Defense Clinic aye sciatica expert sciatica no wo nerves na wo to ase na fa wo siremu na fa wo nansia besi ase ho no se ho techema eno ene ye fa ne sciatica na etimi bubu wo to ase ka wo se dwe wo siremu wo je ho ba bia enye na no na 21st Clinic ba ye adwuma pa wo mu ye ntia basobo o magye no wo Ghana ha ene amono ne enyasem ketewa wo mu gi international awards ahodo wo mu gi local awards ahodo na anu nso na wo mu bie the only sciatica research and treatment center in Africa bibrim ha no ebi ni ba bia gi se 21st Clinic nkoa wo mu die bibiduro ene besa o yare no masa de machine aka ho yare sabia yare bia wutimi de ko ne mama ade ba ko a wo magidi wo mu pa no sciatica ena stroke nso de kwa diabetes ne hypertension ne ade Ghana ha ba bia wo mu ho enkran ha se ye wo Tantra Hill runabout se wo free enkran eba ye wo wonsa ni fa so wo fra masaman so na eba nso a wonsa bonkum so ho na wo behu ye 0540311311 0540311311 na se 21st Clinic still wo mo ye sciatica expert 21st Clinic aye sciatica expert sciatica no wo nerves na wo to ase na fa wo siremu na fa wo nansia besi ase ho no se ho techema eno ene ye fa ne sciatica na etimi bubu wo to ase ka wo se dwe wo sirem wo je ho ba bia enye na no na 21st Clinic ba ye adwuma pa wo mu ye ntia basobo o magye no wo Ghana ha ene amono ne enya asem ketewa wo mu gi international awards ahodoɔ mo gi local awards ahodoɔ na anu nso na wo mu bie the only sciatica research and treatment center in Africa bibrim ha no ebi ni baabi a gi 21st clinic nkoa wo mu de bibiduro ene besa o yare no masa de machine aka ho yare sabia yare bia wutimi de kɔ ne mama ade ba ko a wo magidi wo mu pa no sciatica ena stroke nso de kwa diabetes ne hypertension ne ade Ghana ha baabi a wo mu ho enkran ha sese ye wo Tantra Hill runabout se wo free enkran ba ye wo wonsa nifa so wo fra masaman so na eba nso a wonsa bonkum so ho na wo behu ye 0540-311-311 0540-311-311 na se 21st clinic still wo mu ye sciatica expert
tontonte yanum sane afa adwen ne afa adwen mpa se na nanu nim se brebi beba ama tonti na 74 opa ye ne simple T74 abeye aduru tonti na 74 ana T74 asa twe ya dwene asina nanom dodo so se de na dodo bua ma na nanom enyare basabasa no saa na tonti na 74 ana T74 ebu nipadua no ema immune support enti obi onum bie no abrebia ne ho dendenden tonti na 74 yinso yaye ne se nsuo kokoro wa kama enti ba bia wonam bia obetimi de wade akọ samene wa ankafi na ekroyi eda no nko na wie ye wa bra mennom T74 se mennom tonti na 74 menya hodi mennom ne dabia T74 yi hahama ene ye de aye na DHC ena aframa na ye kama saa no T74 ahoden ni apomuden ko a woko pharmacy ana ba bia to nwo bia ubenya tonti na 74 yi bia to T74 yi enye ma oba wa fafuro ana obi a o manufo ana se obi a onya mfie dumienu eto phone 050-162-8931 and 0246-073-498 FDA agi adwadie nkratoi atom
for Yadama say, Emma Makwaba Bioba SOMPA 106.5 FM for God and country. Yakwa mano so na yeni ura Patrick Ofori edin komo ne wi se enyanti se ukọ wiase German so a ayade a crude oil edube $100 empo atrampo we cannot say until ehọ na akwakodu. What does it mean to the chamber of Boyk Oil Companies? You know, ye papa Patrick Ofori ahumano so aye ne bedin komo. Mr. Ofori, ye ma kwa for God and country on SOMPA 106.5 FM. Pacho na what to say?
Chris Adaroma me hoye we dey me mam onu atie for so aha. Yeah.
Eddie kind congratulations ya pals by this Jumano after Senor Hosse's 10 years CEOship. And once again we want to say that we congratulate you.
Thank you very much. No producers.
All right, yes, so you better ask the person that we watch the press only young ebedi and komo. Say you nyare ntia say e wo wiase adwaman so no. Aye fan go bono a page no mu pa akọ be 100 and also over $100 per barrel. Now we ye bisa say for the next pricing window no ebetimi anyanso so anso ana.
Me pacho ani
ebenyanso so anso.
Ebenyanso so anso ewo enchechemu ya me de ma winsi.
Me pacho boy enchiremu kakra.
Okay, me da wase. Yentia ebenyanso so a me kanu say. Petroleum product, any commodities be edwadi no. O say ya nano na cocoa board and semo bana man for kase o man hedge price no o man putin sana ye die esitie na because ye koimu ye capital ye di ye EDC adwuma ne ibina ban ni nyina no e sheda wo form and probably ni aboni beka na say boni beka na say hedging ama say kimu asebia tata say ebo no me say ebo na beko ebia $60 $60 ebo no kodru 100 or 200 the crown $60 na meton no let me to amount you need sa sikano dodo na ye de yesa ne ma ntimpe bebre ye ne enkofo nyina ne aye ne se Metinia Hedia Kosra Ebia Naochimienu. Naochimienu price control mechanism say average say Naochimienu ya edameni for the next trading window. Ebia 20% of my cargo no me pese me ye no on the average say monton mami ewo emprempri ebui anase na ochimienu na ochi edebia price no yen fine yen kan nyina momie divided by 15 days na dia 20 say if say me ye say me use the next 15 days ahead of me at their price here and could do honor the average send me say and I drew 105 at 115 and each not the air kakum Anna Yebeke Kabum near the access na Yahu Buona the problem. And the pricing up.
Yeah.
Yanko Pono do na susika answer that no swimming. Any competition a war among Yahu.
Yeah.
Yahu say last year Nimunia fee but one price number form. And it's a price meeting me this identity cost you now about from. Se me yese me feel be in se me bi nyina no me tono empempega ni ye kano sport na min ton min ye competitive and toma oil marketing companies
no yeah
engineer yankofo no do na ya ne say 80% of it agina say empempega no products do na me fa na empempe ya ni use sa da no nefa ebo ne mane maybe 20% the means no me dey call when any tender bi na say be no and no because the tender na me ya na ntem bi na my year average no e bi akwa akoyi enti eno any enema I work near your kind of pricing no Ebeman apostle. As I talk cost bill. Obi anywhere with this product no. Ebe buship mo ba. Said you 1 year hun sheye against atoyerenchem.
Yeah.
And to broni so beka ni insurance. Ye di dwai enyina and insurance yet here between 27,000 to maximum $50,000. But let me free meeting me call for be a cargo so modeba. I know my partners about West Africa. Insurance companies charge 1.7 million.
Wow.
And no muna ye chebuswa ye kobibi premium. Ye pre omumudi biame premium. And normally is decided by split a shape no asking to your dear and your mortgage, any insurance, and any capable be a premium. So, see, I mean, no can say, and no cost. I'm not facing so because you come, you don't want to young confort, you same a do be bra you own. Shapes na say versus na a different one eban. You rely on if we are seeing na versus companies are more China echo Belgium. See, I mean, no work say versus another do na koka sa Iraq ni Iran mumpote mo go for my we are see fan one of the donor stream. And to China for no more India more so to oil another donor. Omo industries near the here fan no and Premprebian. A Jinamwa Bobia, so owners and the Bema or Mubitia. And it is between so or China, India, Nisa, and Potemono, and Nisa or Bagana. A buono, a reaction, senior sanctions, and so on. Awo, ye get the initial. Nemum, me a metimi a catcher, ye mount for, and say, Obi any honoma, ye bepping, amana fat, sa quati quain so. Eddie, ebu, obi, yet. Rakwanso anya dia ye beppene ne sa na afisi so nia ye saka asemu ni se product ne de bebri wo o man make us there are about 8 vessels already ya lock ni na e wo Ghana waters e yire so chen so fra na e beba.
All right,
ana ye wo product in storage make us for some of the product crown. Me abroni be friend woolly. So the baby a find die a dibu no pan. I had the shortage bad here. A bit Emma.
Because a boredom never costro. Because said the wakara says shortage but a bono be costro no. Because as we are told from the EP, you know, come on with the above to Ghana say Ghana have your import cover, your was a CR no, 5.3 for petrol and 7.8 for diesel. Now, Ujiri sent to quite a cost or and also so any so your import cover, wouldn't it affect it?
I was so because now you ceremony at now. We must have one agent because what we anticipated say, think one about $300 per annum, and Kabatra at 15 days after the war. But Siciano, then Siciano, Niagu, a free a bro, a boy in the and meaning I said. Oil refineries installations are Omu a trader and the Topaya to tomorrow. And no Anna.
Hello, Bivachotemenka. All right, so unfortunately we've lost him on the line, but he's giving us all the key points right here. But we want to say a big thank you to him, but I think let's see. But Patrick, some friend bi na yem fan to ahma no so na ye no ND and komo yenwie and komo no. But I believe the other questions I want to ask him was SOMPA 106.5 FM for God and country. So and then remember sir, wherever you are under the sound of this great voice, whatever matters will be brought to bear. And yensaka ayura Patrick Oforibio ewa hamano so wadaroma your line it's a coy na uma in cheche mubi
Anani ame pache say shortage the because since you are Roma 30% of our demand or more producing domestically omodeba and no I will Dangote no near the so producer. Luckily for us, some of our international partners, almost in the Dangote, I acquire almost crude oil. I come out normal refinery. No, or my GB, at the mine. And the product now, Casadi. If you don't get my so I better. As soon as they bread and go to or they bread into a refining. Yeah, the reality is that Omube use international benchmark pricing. Anna, a day. ahyehyɛ ɛboɔ no.
All right. Okay, so says here no yerim say the exchange rate in common so no idea affect mu dwedie no say you hwe cedi na holding against the dollar na otim say cedi no bon ho modern pa ye ebetimi anya some amount of impact on the world oil prices on the Ghanaian consumer ana
yeah we mu say yes so trom you know amani ha na ota okodu so ana way in America senior aban atoto enema about civil stability no aboa kese na nka se eno so ebegensem aka ho dia anka baye de aman na civil ni betumi anya nsanso pawo ne ekosu so a civil ni babilo bia 8 cities. But a remaining says even 10
says as we speak now, a 10-7.
Yes, and America say about 10-7 krana for some of the products like diesel money are there. Yeni Europeans now munya gas anyway and competing. Where their price can go up around above 3 cedis per liter.
Above 3 cedis per liter.
That is say according to but numbers need be I have to know. Men person make be there amount for. We need a bit of strong city to avoid that.
A bit of a stronger city to avoid the situation.
Yeah.
As you rightly put it, say, Anka city, at me about 8 cities to $1, Anka, it would be a favorable condition.
Still, no crown, at the cost of Kaka.
Wow.
Because prices are more costing. No, I didn't and part one about insurance. Insurance, I would hear between 27,000 to maximum 60,000. Amount for Kochi 1.7. Look at that. Definitely, some component here for the Christmas. Be pushing on to us. Say you find a day bowl, say find a day bowl. They will push it to whoever.
Sure.
So
as we speak now, no, say we should the ekoso we are say edwaman so with regards to the world market prices now. The percentage increase, I did check, it was around 30-something%. Would that be the same thing, percentage difference that will reflect what the pumps now?
Let me tell you, for diesel, currently the price is not any premiums above 40%.
40%, right?
Yeah.
And for petrol, eh?
For petrol, so about cost, but petrol no, I'm cost per se diesel no, because diesel, our power plant, our Europe near the I don't know to see and there is more demand for it, and certainly I'm not here economic. So demand and could to and able to so motor. Not supply sources and my price in the question.
As we speak now, you have been appointed as the CEO of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. Policy intervention bang now ube recommended ya ma buying say ebebo yenga ye top petrol out of the pumps ehu buying.
Me pacho I not there. So you yenim penufo kusia sisi I better to ana I akoko nto obedum. Ene mani bi wa yenhwe enkoma ene aban ebedi na wi. Na wi a ministry no kasama for no be issue communicate. Beboama yenyina ya sumaju en de ko me no okasi. Me ma me no me so anu mo pankro no ne ade nyina boy tri so. Enso so sebi yenim ho hwe ne yakoso.
All right, yeah, the better was say, but we can conclude by saying that next week, I know the next pricing window for fuel, no, from the 16th of March, and diesel consumers, we're expecting 40% increase at the pump, right?
Me patron say a German so that be so.
And nothing I make say for the next pricing window, 16th of March.
It will depend on the trend aircon and the battery. If you make a
But what if it stays like it's happening now?
It happens to send it's most likely 40% in the person.
For diesel at the pump and our petrol, let's say to hover around 20%, right?
Yes, between 18 and 20.
All right. Ora Patrick Ofori, you better was pass on my home crime, you know, didn't come on. Ora Patrick Ofori, a chamber of bulk oil distributors, and I'll just say, Meneno Edin Commandery on SOMPA 106.5 FM on For God and Country. Amasama Bruni.
Prof.
Yes.
Asamoho.
Enyare Jojo. Enyare Jovola. Ghana. All right, so let's take a listen to this. We're going to be right back.
Ukraine-Russia war.
Oh, Ebe Pacho. Asamu, me Pacho. Yebe TCC. Buma inti kuti we CC. Bon fanchemi.
Ukraine-Russia war. Na Ukraine-Russia omo kwa efa ya Ghana for efa ya hoben. Yeah, it's your baby. Ukraine-Russia war. Ohwe wotina play mu na okasa wo call Ukraine. Wo fi Accra 7,000 kilometers ansa no akodru. Na omo kwa mu ntokwa. Den say yesika sem. Na Cote d'Ivoire so nkasa. Say Russia Ukraine na omo ko. And so
a few moments later,
Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum.
Episode for SOMPA 106.5. It's only 9 after 4. This is going to be one of the issues we'll be discussing today. Our For God and Country. So, Amasama Bruni is rightly seated before me. But there, say Ghana, how? Say, Uye Jumeni ni Tiaoka. This is all your magician. Ghana ni. Say, Uye Jumeni ni Tiaoka Ghana ha. This is all your magician. Wait me, I survive it. Aden no Amasama Bruni me be Chelsea ya safofato so ne enko. Ya say wo ye Ghana ni na wo ye djuma na etua oka 3,000 cedis a month in Ghana. Matumi buase aye some budget along this 3,000 Ghana cedis. Yan hwe se Ghana ni adwuma ni a odi 3,000 Ghana cedis no obetimi survive with 3,000 cedis in a month, particularly those of us living in Accra, Kumasi and in other urban areas. It is very, very difficult. Now, this is the monthly budget breakdown. My year. Monthly budget breakdown. Obioji 3,000. Okay, you for say one crying how about your rent? Buy 700 cedis a month. And that is going to be about 23.3% of a salary of 3,000 cedis a whole year. That so we are taking the minimum. So 700 cedis. Eduania who be 1,000 Ghana cedis. 33.3% of your 3,000 cedis, no. No. Electricity. Someone when say electricity buaba bedding. And who bet you 400 cities. And no represented 13.3%. Ka oba fa kwa ejuma aba. when you sue, you sue by 300 cedis, 10.0%. Ubet your water bill, and no dear amount a year 100 cedis. That's about 3.3% of your salary. And the total expenses at the end of the month, about 2,500, representing 83.3% of your 3,000 cedis at the end of the month. Balance I have 500 Ghana cedis, representing 16.7% of Ayawusika. Now, Yanshe, Yebisa, where does your money go? And hifa and now 3,000 cedis now what year? You can appreciate the discussion better. So quite Facebook wala. Say with 3,000 Ghana cedis now what year? Busume basono and hifa na eko. Rent, food, electricity, water remaining 16.7%. I have 500 Ghana cedis. Baby, our salary ne echo for 3,000 Ghana cedis at the end of every month. Now, let's look at the other slide. Yeah, what other slide so? Okay. The remaining 500 cedis now ebekano. Kaise unya to airtime, mobile data. And one spending, I overspend 80 to 150 cedis. Yare home health expenses. Overspending between 50 to 200 cedis. Ubekwa sorry. A sorry now obekono so one tia between 150 and 100 cedis dia ubetia. Wankasa untadi shem your personal care unkumbesa 100 to 200 Ghana cedis. So what your school fees are? Kaisa every month biano. Ubetia apart from school fees, ubese tia feeding niama. So one fee ubetia between 200 and 500. Emergency funder ebekaro and also ube yusuno 50 to 100 Ghana cedis. And when you know, it means say Ghana Juma near where ye Juma ye trying to cap 3,000 cedis a month. Says Sikano. Me, my term says Sikano say a survival wage. So usha savings are I was say we at the end of every month. What do you mean your savings be? Because rent plus the listed expenses 500 cedis never can, and also to take other expenses. And at the end of the month, uniskebia would be better. Where entertainment can memo. Dear Yano Bajino and memo. Meka Yano was a foot yassi. So we a Bama, dear. The old mammy cries Bajino and memo. Bauma Minya Yanum. Guess, and the Mubajino and memo. Until say Ghana how things are difficult. But Mamimbo Moding Namin show a crown of first orbiting survive with this 3,000 cities. So if we go back to the other slide. Go back. Say I don't Mamin show kakra, Mamim more critical tips we are obeti they are surviving. Reduce rent burden. And this is how you teach here. You're posting fufro. Now you are likely to stay with your family and conquer high dying. So we are a church for now we are bear 3, 4. Moment we are dying now we mugum because we're the boys voice we're the guess. Single room bia no makwaje na mu biem. Na transport no so me pacho. So we think ha na wo kwa adwuma enko fa Uber. But modern nakofa a year draw. Choose draw over boat. Choose draw over Uber. And when I last because draw be na brasa minimu. Una also pam see ye ya che me be draw from. But no nim say me manage me salary no. The principle of first saving. So what salary ni ba. With a bomoding nati be 100, 200 be na for 2 baby. So what the betwe susu kra ebe boa. Eduane. So we are doing so, but Tebiano wa bonting to say, be oti me nchen ha. De bia wo didi wa bonting. Safo hwe menim. De bia wo didi wa bonting. Me ameti ha. Me de bia me didi wa bonting na. Safo, ye be no wo fie. Ye be no ye nuani wo fie. Wan kasa kodwam na ko didwa na be no wo duane. Build a side hustle. Apart from adwuma na wo ye no. Say you have 3,000 cedis no. Pe bibi kakra na ye na fa ka ho. Obi o ha onana ma social media so a ade bi obehu bi obeto. Onam kwanche ade bi obehu bi a obeto. Atoto aye no. Enti no Charlie. But with all this, what comes into mind? This Ghanaian worker will pretend to be working. This Ghanaian worker will pretend to be working because he cannot survive. On the other hand, this Ghanaian worker will become corrupt. This is where it emanates from. Free. And Tiabanya Besro. Say, I can try ye di tua ejuma for Ghana hano. And I'm describing just a living wage. It is just a living wage. Amasama Bruni, comment on this before we get into the other matters. Also, they Debbie, medium income public sector, some Safo, Famisi Haya. Amasama Bruni, my minty.
Prof, what's a mama queen idea? Mean to me starting me casa without greeting me flag bearer, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Currently, our Haja all perform Umrah. Na ye bon person nyame beje ni mpaibo any ya chiriwe ni nyina nyame beje mpaibo atu. And then again to me Sanchia me General Secretary Lawyer Justin Fripong Kodia your best delegate say mama yang supporting na ya maintaining no for continuity's sake. Na last we call Patriotic Institute, and I was really moved by it because a brainchild of the General Secretary, they are about to train the party people to be well abreast with our party history and ideology. And then lastly, Lawyer Nana B, your national organizer, also called First Vice Chairman. Your best stress, Mreni Drua Party Mamubeta Yechina Yakoto Abanama na wabe part of the vice chair now yebe within the party. Now, Prof.
Yes.
Nia uye no. Ideally no, anke wose me start about supporting say nukre, but me the veer off road kakra.
All right, 5 year off road.
Me veer off road me holding me. According to and this is you know what Jubilee House in charge of BBB agriculture
why
Jubilee House you know only cocoa farmers kwa kasa na say ano Otukono, good.
Peter Otukono ama
yati asese 2,500.
Oh,
me ba. Oja me landa me for. Prof, me for.
1 minute. 1 minute. Because I'm so because I didn't have to create you for on person.
Okay, that's fine.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, me bacho. What to say?
I'm here to Mompacho. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, that's it. Emma Kwaba. Then I'll pass okay.
Na me program na mpese me baso.
I also then I'll pass okay.
Hello.
Me pacho wo program no so.
Na me say. Daye 2 to 3 months ni. Me nya me menses ni bi.
Oh, I. Me pacho. And then your number, you want display or baby Anna. Okay, I must have a really
Prof, yeah. Say na make as a call no buy no. So you know to kuno kan no mo ete asese and 2,500. Esu mfaso ewo
It's
mfaso 3,100. And the excuse is that purchasing power no I am more with 2,500. And he said near would display wahano. In reality, that's the truth.
Sure.
But we share on no logical. And Quebec say any day said 3,000 should have higher purchasing power.
Yeah.
But you see, times and season expose asema ye nukre in asema enye nukre. So this clearly is telling us say Nyoko catch the farmers, you know, he just went there to tell them certain comical statements, keke. Because Obisa say SARFO, right?
Yeah.
Obisa say whether a private sector,
public sector, public sector, a private sector.
So when you all display, I can tell you say the private sector and the government sector crano are much better than the private sector. In fact, some of the private sectors no crano, a kitchen do 3,000.
Okay.
Andrew, there are people who work and at the end of the month they are paying them 1,000 to 800. In fact, some of these private schools obi catch a kitchen yamanu at the end of the month. What will be someone say, I don't know, sorry, but survival means also on dancer or bed the fee.
Now, gonna cry daily minimum wage in cry saying
it's around 21
points.
Good. Prof, imagine so be track in private school. Now at the end of the month, you about 800 to 1,000 cities. One of the means are person move from cushion or any extra classes. Extra classes you so ubenya head teacher no obe step in ajiji aska no. And I was say aska no was a cushion teacher no.
But how the end of the day no omucha mat at for.
There be says can enya school and what's enya school ni there. Because a day a teacher ni him say na ketu no ya 800,000. But obe che extra classes obenya 100 cities they akofie. It balances actually.
It's 3,000 the empuni. 3,000 the empuni, not 800.
So asama make canon so it tells you west no. So it near the year 3,000 po and higher west. So imagine 800 person there. You cannot even put that person on the living wage. I don't know whether it is like on the verge of death wage. No, basically, if I may say that.
Sure.
Because in this day and age, ultimately show will be a name. But you see the amazing thing. Some of these private schools, fees so much, any amount of teachers, and Bobra. And that is where sometimes you ask yourself, say, Labor Commission, they're no more. Because if there are certain private, some countries, so we are private sector and say you can just pay people the way you want. When you say ideally, I'm a minimum wage. Minimum wage now, in other mindful front, at least a reasonable enough that they know it can cater for one or two things. And that, Prof, once who display 700, I told you, said that's for single room.
Yeah, single room.
I can tell you, say that single room, Grano. As I say, a single room without toilet and bathroom.
Yeah, single room.
Just single room.
Say at the minimum, na picky. The minimum.
So imagine, say, if this young guy and this budget, I can say, well, useful for. Let me use bachelor and spinster.
Yeah, bachelor.
Because when I also with the married person, I can
then
I can guarantee you, say, oh no, they on crowd. So that is the harsh reality we are faced with. In fact, and one of the things that would display Metmaka said 3 components and a fast canopy home: food, transportation, accommodation. These 3 things, and these are the things that.
And now electricity.
Yes, now electricity. Sure, electricity. That's true. And now electricity 400.
Yeah,
I was like. And then who video be a guy be call one of the ECG officer or who say every 2 days or 50 cities.
Now maybe I catch you say every month we talk 1,200
every month.
Just one AC, one fridge, one television.
That's crazy. And you see, these are the realities I was saying the politicians should face with.
Sure.
Well, so that we look at say so who are within the public sector, government should find one of the ways obetimia taking some burden off the worker. One of the things we can be say, accommodation wise, how can government support? So the security services, or more government find a way of supporting them. Even though the last I think immigration also they also complain say or more when ember regular. But about like teachers, nurses, you are on your own. Now, Prof, Musuan Cow say you transfer work baby. Now so see take 1 week we share accommodation and 2 weeks. The coming month validation boy and validate you. They don't even empathize with you. Say you are going through challenge of accommodation. They will stop. Is it not one that said you're on my way? You're posty teacher. and a nurse 12 months 24 months ni salary buy so one go school and one go ejuma yes ama okweri ade anka ana normal zakunza o mai bi amra ye ejuma who mom na was on siwi abai no because at least psychological trauma keke say wa sorry and apa ukọ unim ska udi be share obotom na baby obefa anya ska cover transportation and so abai na expect
na so we be say eden aketua na dey be banti work for it in waiting for the aketua
so den it's not an excuse say any panosu nim say den also nko ejuma but sorry na so niska na so obetime you say excuse any dem niska mean to be ejuma can the person use that excuse no so that's why at least on the average mitmu say mrakra na nke say say teacher nurse and these doctors in this animal maximum 3 months prof I was say yentimi ya ishisheye bia ene technology advanced to the extent say prof unim say every teachers and nurses omu school at this period who post omo at this time I was say untimi ti omo within this period so ebani say na sometimes yetimi tina one prof 12 solid months as you see ye ti omo and validation what does it take to validate people if it is Ghana card you just get that before the person starts with maximum of 3 months and the pay slips are online all those stuff won't say that's the advance Oma might be called approaching and who started Jumana within that very month they pay you. So Ebani say na air different. And I know to say before I buy before we Jumano, Oma financial clearance. And that financial clearance means Akwenya wo say yemfa nkrofo we Juma.
Ska wo ho
So Ebani say let me take it 12 months, 24 months. And in half what as a teacher, what do I say? Sometimes simple I take it 12 months to 24 months prof you emba full I don't know whether you've experienced that you can talk to teachers
I'll talk to teachers
yes
sometime.
You can let some teachers yet me the teacher be 12 months in fact near ya do omoka 12 months you cry bisa obi ye kotiana any average enti say obi I was saying to obi at say 5,000 obi dey bet me 3,000 obi dey bet me 4,500 obi dey and such discrepancy in a bar, you can follow and follow and follow and follow, no rectification.
Wow.
That's the challenge teachers go through. You not just back pay now, but they forget who you here and but I know at the end of the day, people will go and render account to government. So how come say in the system, why when we say why should change a teacher, wait now for 12 months, you will make amends for that. That's another challenge. And this thing, I can tell you so beautiful lines that teachers will attest to some of these things because me we are training college by. After some months yes, I remember the same. These variations were there. We filled forms say they'll make it up. Minu can say Kabashingman and Cranny Bessie and buy Ebako. That's the truth. So let us find a way that if the government can best support it in some of these what say so we a teacher that's what me approve prof government should have a way certain items tax components will be taken off for the teacher to cushion the teacher what you are saying but you are left to your fate enti President Kufuor Assembly ubosu or see people workers pretend to work and government pretends
to pay them
because any person oko school no and oko hospital no sometimes last say a program about some nurses naturally no ejuma na nkasa free fie no some of this pressure crama odebufo na free fie
no crem
enti say also patient uba na or kasa one or two na un this no odebufo na eguso other than that ask yourself why is it that when some of these nurses get the chance no mutu kwan kwa abrocha no matter how a patient is misbehaving onya abotre because on him say scanner urge no odi agro na ye report no na ye pamona obehwiri sa scan no
okay
what I say. So when it comes to this minimum wage there, well, I don't know how
3,000 cities,
but 3,000
and expenses,
and that is serious, especially in the capital like
so.
Like
so who are Bema? What will the 3,000 cities? I worry.
That's a 500 no crowd. Who catch them say remaining. That is ideally no.
Ideally no.
Edi who can worry no.
Yeah.
Ma any person say all things being okay, to me save 500 cities. Now say okoye weather and okoye it will cost him around 30,000. Though it can be more.
Yeah.
Because my say be more.
There be more. Open car now also.
Oh, but prof, modern trend of our area. You can't use anything less than 50,000. No.
Oh, sir.
I'm telling you. I want this. Yes, I'm for Kobo Busia Eddie Ware. Don't you hear it? Prof.
Yes, I'm
for Koji loan.
No, you can't do that.
I'm not asking, I'm telling you. I know people.
So that is what people do.
Yeah. So if we all save 500,
yeah,
it means the whole year unqualified so be worry. Because 512 you are here.
There be
512 and 60. 6,000 to me worry.
There be.
So it means another year or something another year. 12,000 crab by that time. So inflation has cost through. So the agra any panel, he's getting out of the marriage bracket.
Because Safo uji says kawe pa na. We say when ya abaye bia okwa worry na betu fu say twen kakara. Safo say uji 3,000 na. Me chiro say to wase kakara.
Those one I'm 10 years no.
Abasama bro ye we right.
So Charlie,
me say we we.
Okay.
Da ye dey atoto the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors en komo na me ni di no.
Okay.
En ho sisi ya.
Ukraine-Russia war. Now Ukraine-Russia omo ko a efa ya Ghana for efa ye ho ben. Yeah, it's your baby. Ukraine-Russia war. What's not play mu now? Cause we call Ukraine now. Ufi Accra, 7,000 kilometers. Ansa no akodru. No more come on tokwa. Then say Yesika sem. Na Cote d'Ivoire son kase. Say Russia, Ukraine no more come. And so
a few moments later,
Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum.
All right, until minim say yani ora Patrick Ofori edin komo Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. One no ye CEO order no ya pound fofra order no da inkomodie no mu no okeka nsem bebre e kire ade kudie nti a eye fango buo no mo kofa ba ne buo no ebeye den na ewo wiaso uko ewiase edwaman so a ehwo no uko a sese ebuo no is hovering around 102 between 102 $115 per barrel. And I'm busy to say so. And to when na esi no, a dia ebema a year fango bo at the pumps akosrana. And I was say for the diesel no dear, we shouldn't expect anything less than a year 40%. Petrol 20% thereabout. Which year ye bumping wa bra no born to in some more kind. Oba benua no so ensam so a okai abasama bruni my intiwe
Prof, before me start to say me kasano I can bet my calculation am 40% of the current diesel price, you know, it will ebedru ahin. Now about your currently, you know, current price is around 12 point something. Diesel is around 12.
All right, and you ever heard diesel near a calculation am I
Star Oils need we around 11 points, but Gold Shell
what do you to star now?
Prof,
me patcho true. Patrick true. Why, Mr.
me pesa me hu am I be na kun sesia?
Am I no?
Why na kun sesia?
Again US against Israel, Iran.
Against Iran. Ghana kan ho.
There be Ghana kan.
Oh, Ghana kan ho.
I didn't know bisasa.
Oh, same from Ghana to Iran. How many thousand? Prof.
Yes.
President Mama say Ghana, Ukraine, 7,000. We say me who from Ghana to Iran, how many thousand? In fact, before we Ukraine, it's estimated say it's around over 9,000 kilometers thereabout. How does it affect Ghana? According to Sami Jemfi, yen drop bomb waha. And a bomb will be able to waha.
Before Uber to us, Emmanuel Dako, so lecturer UPSC.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
Yeah, he's listening to us. Or say calculation na ye and say siano. A back on no call for measured birth rate in Ghana. I say, Prof, I'm watching you, pa. My good brother, thank you so much for what you were.
He's an advocate for that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yanko.
Prof. Nye ya wasem we mu say. President Mama, no we the president dawo. You see, about this time around, treated President Mama as if this is his first time I be president.
But any display on the anti-star pricing per liter. There be SARFO way there correct. SARFO the other check when you're correct.
Check when
you're correct. Where was road when you're correct. Where AB other day. Okay, that's fine. Because I know say star 10.7, 10.8 thereabouts. Okay, Bacho.
Okay. So, Prof, you see, me could say President Mama, this is not, and then the first time near Wabe or Mampeni. The second time near. But your kasa, your money look like as if saying the first time near. So, no experience should have taught him, say, happenings on the international scene, no, ewo in so ewo yaso. But because of air political talk to, I was say, to say okay, during politics there, obetimi atwantro said odibenya akwenya odibe win election. So ofili say one of the things. And if Russia Ghana 7,000 kilometers, Ghana Iran around 9,000. So there is no way this oil, your friends, are happenings on in the Middle East no ever have any effect on us. From January, February 2023 there about in 2022, now diesel crude ending around $60. Prof, by March, April, now jump to 120. Naturally, no. So one explanation on my friend no chamber box CEO no Patrick
Ofori.
Or see share margin no aban fa ho a enye ye. Yet Ghana from $60 to $120 per barrel. Usi eno there and what say enye nsunsan so bia ewo yeso. Inti ye you see Russia Ukraine na we have overused it. Na ye dada Ghana for. Ene ne president ankasa aka ene ye de be ye adwuma. As long as enya ha na ya be to bomb. Ene enya ha na ntakwa AC. They cannot have any justification would be increase fuel prices. Almost started prepare your mind since last week. Na yan jim tum say increases be enam kwan so ba. Few months back, international happenings drop in petroleum product a favor omuno. They were telling us there about papa na aba. They made it look as if say omun shisheye and we were telling them say nyan shisheye bia na mu dia ato akwemu. Now favorable conditions our international market no and a favor almost see there be reality now starting he too omo they are now saying say aban to me fa say can aban be fa kano na prof say oman penny any na aban e decide some be increase here some of us will lead a demonstration against it.
Okay, so just to help the discussion, now petrol current price no at 10.99. Yeah, I'm taking the lowest.
Okay.
10.99. Diesel at 12.55. Sir, Omukase petrol be kosoro by 20%.
Say 40.
Be patro be kosoro o say petrol.
Okay.
20%.
Okay.
No, 2 series 20 pesos. And eba betoso. So it means that petrol, ya betono our pump no 13 series 19 liters.
39.9.
Yes, okay. 19 liters. So diesel also ever cost by 40% as he says they are. And also 5 series and ever betoso. And it means that diesel ever shoot to 17 series 57 pesos per liter.
All I can say is I don't want to be a prophet of doom.
Yeah.
But if this should happen, the God of Nanado lives. You see, President by this time NDC for Prof. Omuba stations and mamun so momumbe kikan semni biwaha. Because nyomuki kaye against Nanado, they shouldn't have any defense when they come. And I know you do the job.
Oh,
so nyama bi.
Me.
Enti mo obi mbetena ha embe ka che ena esunu war way because Strait of Hormuz Hormuz said ya tum ena this that you see Russia Ukraine na e wa excuses.
But Amasa Bruni.
On the other side, Batty there. Come baby. Batty bia ni ha.
Unim se Ghana ha no mo. Yeah, oil ye lifted on. Ye lifted 20% of our crude imports every year the Gulf region. So unim sa.
Miti opa.
So unim sa.
Miti.
Me say unim ana unim.
Minim say president say idea esu international market Ghana any affected. Ghana yeah island o. And this sama yati as say Ghana no League of Nations no yanka ho. Ye gina island. It is a BB affected. In fact I see Cote d'Ivoire cry on be den. So this time around he's caught up by his own ways. And ironically no ono ko gina independence and all catch say wa catch minister anyway so omun starti. You see the first thing he should have done before even telling us say wa instructing minister any other agencies to start following the trends and see what's happening is to first and foremost apologize. Say some years back me see happenings no any so and so e so me kan no mafum because as ex-president then no I should have known better say BBAC or other country. In fact sometimes your neighboring country cry BBAC cry it will effect on you.
Well say I pushed a Patrick Ofori the CEO once ye fangwa ye tono ye pumps no niema mienu the FOB price of the world market and then the exchange rate and it tells me that exchange rate ni baby awo sesia as a 10.7 no eno kra no entimi enholdu that sharp increase in the price of crude on the world market. And I even question him by saying, say, what if it comes to, let's say, dollar to the city bar, let's say 8 cities are. And he tells us, say, Enokrano, it can't do anything, it can't alleviate this increase. So it means that on the 16th of March, so if the conditions should stay like this, they are, then it means that we are going to buy petrol and diesel, one for 17 and then one for 13.
But Prof, that might not be the end though. Me cramming some waha. Reuters. Oil prices rise as Russia-Ukraine war threatens supply disruption. This is one of the things that when you say Trump has also increases sanctions on Russia because your friend saying peace deal no air drag it.
Yeah.
Contemplation because of war what in Sako Shemu na say ni refi ebanisa it can even be worse. But you see in all this unim corona in this government person boy
corona
ya one city no omoji ye no who can say parliament honorable Abujinapo ejina say they are doing smart or you see it takes a smart government to introduce a tax and you will not feel it at the pump. Who can be
but when they introduced it did you feel it at the pump?
I'm saying because of what they are telling us now. But the reason that Omudi sa tax no eba was because of things like this, so that it can cushion us. Is that not it? So say CEO na mayati say even the dollar call 8 cedis cry, it will not save us. Meaning it's inevitable. Our Chinese system for me
if the conditions should remain this way, the price at the world market should be remaining this way. So price on the platform
yes.
Then it means that ABI betting a but a new to say they are in
the Middle East crisis. You can even say things are even getting worse. You understand? We all pray say peace, beba. So that is, but that is why we have to be circumspect. Say yeah, we position na say yeah kasa, because unim near what ahead. You can't tell the future. And if another government went through some of this ordeal. Now we feel it's a advantage. Now I continue TV so as director of communication. We see bomb ya two bomb abeto wagana ha. Now on man penina kasa. In fact, ni statement e carry weight cracking other ones no. Now what me abegina platform so I'm a Ghanaians ni na atia say. Ni esi we outside no. We shouldn't use it as an excuse for the increases and hikes na ye hu wo man no. Today, you cannot convince Ghanaians say there are other reasons, regardless of how genuine the reasons are. You can't convince Ghanaians again. Because you can't say one thing tomorrow you turn your tongue. And that has been some of the things NDC a year in opposition. Uka about electricity. Uka say electricity I increase. In opposition, Uka this thing Sami Jenfika time of use tariff. Say they will introduce what they call time of use tariff. In fact, the meter scrubber they will calibrate it so that depending the time you use the meter, no, and when but say
it is too early. They've just had 1 year in office.
1 year. But these are people who have taken every successes within the 1 year. So if 1 year is good enough for you to say take all the credits, 1 year should be enough for you to take the blame as well. Anna, if within 1 year, stability. They have managed figures now. Some inflation, inflation dropping to about 3.3.
3.3%.
Right?
Yeah.
So in all this, why are we talking about hikes? It tells you that there's a disconnect with the kind of economy President Mama Erani, because this indicator should rather even be a buffer already for us. Already no stability is there, because some of the things are here so omampeni nanado die. One of the reasons I hear so etum was has to do with the exchange rate and the margin of increase, because already now dollar was hovering around 15-16 thereabout. It accounted for the increase. And two, looking at the margin, the leap now, say before increase baba now and the number 70 per barrel. Say I need no across 100. 69 good. And I know across 100.
Yeah.
So it means government must make up for $30 plus. Okay, so the $30 be cover and just small boy in terms of barrel wise. What I say. So it tells us say as a government, when you are faced with challenge, you try to move along, and the opposition must also be a bit reasonable. Though you may criticize the government, don't be say come and sing praise the government. We criticize the government, but where in criticism, no, government look like reasons now all money no and to assume now what me they are convincing Ghanaians. After the two me abesha unsama, now the condemned previous government no, and no asambe or excuse ene. It means Ghanaian citizens no muto abama no omuna won't respect prof. Because all respect Ghanaians are omuto abama na, you won't come back with that same lame excuse. Then what you are telling Ghanaians is that means the previous government was doing better. But because you pay to me at all costs no, ubeki can sem echromu say udibeji to me. And I believe some of the videos of these cocoa farmers are omukasa say nyama na ye catch romu no enye no na omu hu sesia. To the extent say democracy, unim say president instruct say yentua omu skebi. Also wama ya dedicated $150 million say yenfantu omu. Ebe pime ne omu say they've not received a peso of it. To the extent say some cocoa purchasing clerks within the various communities no omu eduane free omu community ho. These are the reality I face Ghanaians. So we have to brace ourselves. Say much as say you single digit inflation, much as say dollar ending 10 point something. I'm buying air catcher say look, with all this no mean save you. Once Middle East volatility no a continue price build up no ya the be bremo Ghanaians now much ya and prof a coercing situation already yanim say nyama bo kosoro. Transportation will skyrocket because unya the idea we move from 12 right which I can 12 point BB now move to 17 now you can guarantee say GPR2 you need protos and omuntina and for months immediately no there will be price adjustment, and once there's price adjustment no unim say a bit true be off gear. Se si akra na we your friend say calculation of obi a oje 3,000 ni 3,000 ni be remain stable increase, and so okofesi the reality in the market, okofesi transportation costs, okofesi rent costs, and because sometimes some of these rent issues are increases are here facing prof omutimika just say ya tutu nyamam no margin so higher than I increase rent prices. So these are the challenges Ghanaians are going to be faced with very soon, and we are praying for the better, because even with the positives now omo kanokrano ye komu ubu electricity bill na ma phone timi ntuye ni omo to ye bu omo komu ECG mbeka last meeting omo say omo meters no there are no issues with their meters. So who is robbing the citizens? and almost use some of this crude in their work. So once there's your friend is increase in the prices, no, it will also affect their build up. And when you say a PURC increase biano or factor all these indicators, rising crude prices on the international market, then. But where there's drop in it, no, this PURC can also on reducing yama webi Emma Ghanaians. We've not seen that. And Prof, I'm happy to say me who video be where you were talking about electricity pricing to the extent that you were even getting angry with the NDC panelists here. Say, Omunjai, the reality is what you are facing. Because first, we say now to about 600 cities or something like that.
No, first time it's 300, 400.
There, and also a balloon to
1,000 to
2,000. Now, Prof, maminu ni na kwa yakoto dream. Na yambon pe say increase 40% and nam kwansui. Ma emba 1,000 plus no yako 2,000 no. Who na onim baby obenya difference no. E de abesoso. Kwa me asema ameka kire no. Already da form nti yensro say ye be hwe asebiom me be kasa wa be obi kasa oya MPP ni nti na ama okasa but hardship has no MPP, it has no NDC. Increase ye and increase for NDC and increase for MPP. In fact, the mere mention of say ebe call to that price no krano onim is one of the mistakes Randy be here cocoa board no oko increase cocoa prices in term and amount for hold year. What's the guarantee says sir Omati say some of these industry players, Prof, Omati say there's a likelihood say you better increase prices. They may not hold some of their products just to get increase. Because profit making the motive behind every businessman or businesswoman or running business. So I believe some of these things they have to be circumspect. Because and then nyawabe kakeke making rounds no will be how him say okay, I did hold it to 60. Me hold by 16th at least the profit margin may double. So we pray that we will not start experiencing friends saying shortages at the pumps.
Okay, so you know what my a PowerPoint right now,
okay,
on this particular 40% the 20% you rap Patrick Ofori at the Maying. So I've just done that, but I be person for the two on Ubia and She. But so full price no Safo. I take blue so. Okay, me patcho ude yankoso ebeba. Yankoso ebeba.
Okay.
Ude yankoso. Ude amasamo. Let's go on.
So me I'm here. Say me soon am the poor Ghanaian out there already over for my obre na side way san eba enti Ghanaians a mutie me. O man peni na mama amamoy ana abai catch them say mun san hye mo sepo mun so belt no baby a wa title akodru no san ko create another hole because who be mia ho sesi a waste no be mia to the extent say be do time be a hu me a enye ye level a ye dru no mun sun say nyama bo eye de no a we feel say we be a anka going forward we may see positives no be get worse. So this is where Prof now obi a oil economists e was on be educate me any listeners how a single digit inflation and a dollar at 10 point something will still not have an effect or impact on the what's the name imminent increases any number your friends say
okay.
In fact me ashimi since man can say 40% me design na me use so I'm going to suffer it and I mean so me ni baby I like say me akotobia e da tour in advance into president mama wey there imisrel me there utuma me lead demonstration because we kasa now can say Russia Ukraine affect you no me patcho Middle East so affect you na Middle East ntakwa de efaga na ho ben Prof maybe so Middle East ntakwa Ghanaian soldiers e wo ha na omu kumbia na Ghana as a nation what is our stake in it Aden Cote d'Ivoire a complain so be increase fuel ana Togo o ma complain so be increase fuel ana Nigeria o ma complain so be increase fuel why Ghana? So me patcho they should take a chill pill omu hold on na yambon person things will stabilize soon as possible.
But what if so what is Patrick Ofori can say the finance ministry and the energy minister, what if government decides to absorb some of the the shocks in our air bunny?
If government absorbs na cocoa farmers 1,000 Ghana government tend to absorb it not this huge increase. Prof, let's be realistic. And if government let me also play the devil's advocate.
All right.
Never say government impo etme absorb it. Then if government is telling cocoa farmers say omu hu hia no. That's why 1,000 Ghana cedis one absorb and more. And that is where the cocoa farmers must be more crazier than they've been. It was so ma aban who say omo adwuma na omo ye boa economy and so aban ni.
Amasama broni there na okay.
Asema make can be post independence na ediba until say na say good assemble prof. Bibia has to do with say cocoa. Your foreign exchange. We integrated science how you was school prof. Who kaya? Your catcher say cocoa and the biggest foreign your friend saying commodity MIA foreign exchange. So it tells you the stake and cocoa farmers play in this country. Until recently, in less than a decade, you had the attention to gold. So no gold one mine, but still no cocoa na MIA foreign exchange gold. But as a government idea, omu do more attention in the question gold to the neglect of the cocoa farmers. Into cocoa farmers, we can tell catch them say you should be on standby. If government does absorb this, it's a simple language and catch them say ejuma na mo ya no ono na memo no neni nsomo ejuma no. And yes, 1,000 Ghana. How much is 1,000 Ghana and I buy entme absorb it. And going forward to once there's increases in some of these things, it's going to affect agriculture. Friends, implement any other products are more used in our agricultural space because more use plowing, more use tractors, these combined harvesters need all those things to plow the land. Obeko koto diesel no bo atum. Enti se farmer no or charge no ABR 200 cedis per acre bia. Se say or koji no be 300 cedis. Who makes the difference? Already a tuya cocoa farmer no 2,500. Abansi on to so. Who makes the difference is the question now one must ask. The rice farmer or and maize farmer. In fact, me kakra na makai obi frame from wa esi ye ba ye ka cocoa farmers asem nko na imimbe ka se omusu omu maize wo ho a ye nto egu ho enti ye ba radio ni TV so prof in patcho we there this all join me because what for no omu ho akire omu maize omu ado a obi anto there's so uti the word glad maize glad rice glad chese ade no wo ho ye nto because can ni system no and ahochire isan akoba biom de ebeye west no already parents are struggling with school fees and hostel fees in the various universities. Where are we as a siano school fees crab amount of the my no crano prof and government school as say into here private school be and has 200 cedis over 200 cedis a term into ohokrano met me say the next slide I was saying on adjust school fees no be costro into all these are build up to the hardship that is going to face Ghanaians and me. All these indicators on micromanaging, very soon you see it. The reality will hit because it will be surprising. Say, Rebecca just say you were 3.3, and all of a sudden, some of these things begin to trickle in, and then they will now come and say they want to revise their figures. That tells us, say, Ghanaians, Mumo Madrin Kosu say figures are government either to abundant so far. Some of us believe, say, they are micromanaging those figures, and they are not the real figures. Reflecting in the pocket of the ordinary Ghanaian prof.
All right, I'm a summer brody. I mean, I say I'm in BA lines and two here, but unfortunately, you know, you intimate display this particular slide now, you know. But I have it here, but for now, no. Per what we have done, current pump prices in Ghana as of March, you know. Petrol aye 10.99, diesel aye 12.55. Now, sir, who share the projected price increases now? Pumps no, dear yawo no petrol no, ebe increase by 20%. Diesel likely to go up by 40%. Now, you share a percentage now. For petrol no sika babaka ho no abaya 2 cedis 20 pesos eno no odi koka ebodada no ho of 10 cedis 99 pesos na e kire se dia ye ne papa ne kasa ya o ka se fango bo no da so gina bebia gina na ebeduma 16 fa there will be no option than to increase the price then it means say you pump price you fuel fuel station now Yebeto a year fuel 13 cities 19 pesos petrol. Diesel also or catch and say ebeko soro by 40%. If anything 40%, I beg your pardon, we have calculation now. I have 5 cities of 12 cities 55 pesos. And no yeah now you can't have 5 cities any 12 cities or Buddha than Boma. Diesel ebeko soro by 17.57%. And yeah, sad displacing, unfortunately, I'm saying technically we're having some error. Me and display, your projected screen also ma share for more Facebook so projected price increases. You sue MPA floor rates. MPA almost floor rates no. You sue floor rates that petrol 9 cities 99%. That is the MPA floor rate. Diesel MPA floor rate and no 10.95. And 20-40% in the crana. So a buying budget to me use floor rate in the dia. Obianton or floor rate now, which I believe is impossible. Petrol ebeko 11 cities 99 pesos. Diesel ebeko 15 cities 33 pesos. This is when the MPA wants to use its floor rates. So this is what we have come. But then we have done the economic impact on Ghana and also on cargo trucks, industry and power, eduane, citizenry household. Let's just say economy be deja. So yeah.
And though more being susu say bibia ye kasa de but a reality check.
The reality check.
What does I say buying biano some of these things no bet me be too akwem.
Sure.
How you handle it. And now perish the thought say bibi say hiti the end is government. How do you think that their communicators can come here and
okay, will you hold it there? Mami call now me pick a call this here 0260-196064 0260-196065. Obet me a friend now do drink chira ba boy dwumadi no. But mami call say opedokono ato a kenki a obeto a ne bo from there. Eye Jaws Bakery for kenki. E ho na kwa obenya dokono papa ato. Jaws Bakery for kenki. Kenki awamunuano are very, very hot on the market. So if you want to buy Kenki, 3 cedis per board, yeah, Bomadina for when it's a Jaws Bakery. Obecha Quang, our Dome Commercial Bank, Nichiwa. Now, my Mr. Kelby, you said Tontina 74, Edda so a wood German so. T74 me pacho a buoni pedua papa T74 a buoni pedua bruta T74 a buoni pedua bruta a sesi ni pedua wa rano brebom me pacho so temen kana how bia bemua oba obunsa na edi o how ani amani apinisi ebrewa T74 ebedi wakagirem T74 eye dudu a wo dwaman so Food and Drugs Authority for Jatum. Open a dudo more Okanshi Drug Lane. Wo Kumasia Ashna Kolinak Herbal. Bombarding na fre 024 60 19 024 60 73498. A biomo bet me afre 050 19 8931. Ya kwa manosona ye native for Ashwabum. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. ABOTCHIE.
Yeah, me pacho udini baby okasa free.
Ugia baba ajana wana mekasa free jome famina.
Ajana 1 ajana 2 my intiwe.
Yabama mbo enye jumapa ubisu omai Ghana. Teni ya wafiri ni sunu ya bana ya chiaye pengi fomi ilibu wa mbua ye yadi credit na yadi friend ya baba mabasu chama Osmani ife informa ka mami shaba ni ibe. Abisa abasa my bro ni onya muke. La mi pachawo ushisha bibisa weba kosu 4% weba su pachawo 4% dinye
me pacho 40%. Yani nyabotre yani bulk oil distributors company for omu penyin ene kasaye ene okatre say the next pricing window no Safango Buono Ewo Jamansono etidiete above $100 per barrel now. And the diesel buabe cost by 40%. Petrol buabe cost by 20%.
Okay. But yeah, it's who danta what ya say eh true and do ya who danta for the waka but me yesho say dampo and ya bampo me yesho say you better a liter 25 cedi say ya amasa my bro the party the train your manuma ya ba ya application romoa in ya be you go say and and this is that we are coming out.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, but what am I saying?
I took a course on Catholic and the ship, the boss in Acaphobia.
Oh, Acafia.
And this is not my demon, papa, and this is not Catholic.
Aye,
if you are so to go by as about the president here, what you see, and to question Russia. What's your Ghana? Also, can free and call Russia. A quite demuno. Necessary and to question. Yet, the man, a trial, you know. Oh, the Yati, who have been here, who bought their mamma, Casa Becca, Mamma, a choir better be so. All this year, what you go, who giving Casa and count. Well, the Yasu will be Russian here. Said they are who better to me, Casa the Ban, and what the better to everyone for. Well, I didn't know what is the Andy's woman with the Monka. Oh, but dear free and for us who queer crowd. Who queer crowd about way party. I go on a year. I can as well my own. And you baby, when you have a baby, yeah, queer.
That's all 3 more years to go. And I said 2.5.
I don't even know. And I don't know yet now. It was one day, you don't know yet.
Midase. Hello, good evening. Yeah, because I want a minute to say. All right, Eben Kwabinya, what am I mind you? I.
But that's Mamincha, you're not going to and then you Mamincha, not going to see our price. And now, Mr. Osman, they gave the one. Me and them,
yeah.
What the 3,000 analysis?
Yeah.
Abroad to Mose and number of Yakasa Ghana. Private sector be crowd for the chunk of 4,000, 1,200. If you move radio stations some way, some of your colleagues 30,000 to our way, and I'm about maybe one, maybe a while lucky, maybe 10,000 plus.
And the crowd and maybe
I want to be 10,000 plus. But the great me, it's not number 10,000 Ghana a month crap where it's me, our because who wants to share power to cheer me? Who you are knowledge because it's here from the starting.
All right, that's fine.
So
all right,
me too. Unim say we are buying now, but you the 2 men mouth. Now, we are to share papa and found near basic.
All right,
I am very challenges.
Yeah,
yes, no. Say the bear and I won't say NDC are buying power. I'm making mention of Russia, Ukraine. Now, in 2024, the MPP state control mention said Russia, Ukraine, and the manufacturer was another one.
No correct.
Ghana for Negoka Showman. Yet your man Ghana how and a Russia, the Biana can be I will say Russia. You enter my NBC, yeah, by something is ABOTCHIE. Russia, you can make that to one. Abu Busakon to Pano. Now, so not bread. Some idea bread. And you will say it was far better than the MPP time. And more that no more oil. So that can no more cash or oil near the Ukraine or Russia. So that can okay. And only say oil acquire to the extent of 1,200. Maybe so Russia, Ukraine, to NBC Papa, it was intensified, but still oil bought near the 50,002. I mean net. Baby, who got 520. They go back to many and even 510. Baby, crowd 490 Ghana cedis. So, Papa, now over $100 million and go to Amina, say about the cathedral. No shame year and 4 challenges. Yes, now you talk a diesel. These are almost not good. So, the car is diesel. You thought this is a liter 23. You don't know and she young fan for the analysis now.
Yeah.
Uncle Omoka said this is about 40%. Yeah. In 2024, now you talk a diesel, a concentration of 23 cedi. Yeah, next about 15 years. What you compare the previous one addition? Don't forget to say, or your smart move. I'm an alcohol crown. Young fans or the elite once the beer to elite as a member. In this young fan said, the Kodo systems, not the war in Iran, Israel, US, and intensifier. Nema, crude Nicoso. Now I buy a liter. Once the other, a gallon of 4.5, or you 40 50%. I'm a fool of a manner.
All right.
So I can say, so now I buy a or drink, not dream, or the yeah. It doesn't matter the challenges I ever confront. People can embrace it. Remember, I'm not about the new engineer and freezer and the John Ever, visionary, continue people because of the about 8 years ago, and we are not so eventually said, and found it ever. So one engineer, we have a smart government. All
right, Mammy,
Mammy, conclude, Miss Michelle, me conclude. Obian says, Sekaba, the person, Sintawan. And will be after an animal. If you're not a cocoa for your 2,587. Yeah, and then, Tom, an answer of Cotosemen, let me 35 bags. No, I'm 31 million, a Twitter 26 bag. No one of us also. Only a minute.
Mr. Vidal say, hello, good evening.
ABOTCHIE.
Yes.
Oh, where are
me where now, swear.
Now, me at the well near Asori Benny.
Asori Bawadarma, now, so where.
Israel Daruma, me where Paradia quick mention me penny back, Yura, Wachia Jacom, the next MPP national chairman. I mean, today, General Secretary Justin Kudia said, Oman and Nimra Domeka Vinyana, the Nams were Lusu, you know, I find Shashi, yet they are candidate in Yavi, Omo research, and 7 police station, Omo who baby are registered. The question on my control as a party members. Gradually in a year and NDC committee don't make up in your seat. You can't hear you. Now, you need a band of course is here in one. I manager. Now, the other day, only have blackboard, any pen, paper, any come on the show blackboard. So, because who defended if you now defending you, who better papa? Say it to member and full any dollar. The new quantity of the year politics. But I buy a depot bano, yet the double bad because it's a sense John Dramana, Ghana president, of a communicator, Shaquaya, and this is our position. Amodin Anadwa Memo Faso, a brand to question for 4 minds, 1 year, Air Kutia, Africa, we are seeing now. And this is what Mikaya can say. Baby and Tokonetini, yet me a banchi or in the end, me found no yet aspect, and the cassette. And the new to a mining more the answer for a cost or an answer say. But then, dear, a drew a Mohonwa and to question a maniema air cost for a raise a dollar, a so solitino. And no, the young I am to say, a yo young nephew be my soon the other time. Yo Ghana for it. That Ghana for Namoko say, and to one as he ran no, Yenia Banchi or Hono, and I Yenia is someone. Why again, and yet, and to question, Yanya Kufad and Trimordia Kufad Mamuna Seno. You will be with the one sub back, coach, will bush a few, and 9 hours can have wow so, and then 9 other NDC communicators. So, yet, yet, your mum, papa, your bet here. Well, Queeniwa, or Cocaline, Coco, Kufad the time, no name so, Benya 31 million to Tiscano. Ah, 1 car, answer a so, a Yura Mahama. I put that down to the back of 7,000 in a WhatsApp petition. When you want fast analysis, when you want fine inflation, and this is supposed to say, Ghana for more flair to the 10 say, who took on to Miko Casse. Not bag a crowd to say, oh, can anyone another 31 million, Ukuta, and then 24 million now. Or what our chance at 31 million? You are not on one casa with Dina who are walkers. The increase in a good year, never at this room. The other MPP say FPP were buying one or mining in a yatum paso. The policies are FPP are buying from Jericho for the buy NDC bar. Almost one be who the more no more the normal call. Policies could have MPP. See a best MPP 24 was so regional executives you say. Only Ghana who fed down on one casa interest. Now, a fire ya paswa. You were about me and the way flag bearer.
Amumia for Papa Susa, Kakra, Nayan Ghana, and in a year, and then Ukodomi market, Sia, a man at it when you know, my Busa. Yan Paddy. Almost one see at Timoso. Opening a grimoire. Person writing Bakumi, Nubia. We will be another board in the attitude. So, no more right, we will be the way and so. And I said, oh, my no, you be that said, don't ever from Nana, which is about Saturday. You got all like 40 Ghana, and I'm in this country. You want to come here with one machine, iron. You got all like 40 Ghana, Saturday, 11:15, I'm up. And then Monday, I'm a big room. I sat me coming something. I'm a map of 50 Ghana. And you can catch them and say inflation, I call from. But what this hash boy, Kumia. Now, first of mine, you're quite an eye by. And yes, all right, MPP. All right. A year, what you're ready. And I put you why, dear Yamin Shrow.
May I say, hello, good evening.
Good evening. I'm sorry about one of them. Prof.
Yeah. I got
yes, I
got you. Go with him.
Always say, Oman 4 minutes.
Me pacho. Mina miti me dwem. Ana me dia mapekem mu a me dia den cheche. Mina miti mapekem. Ana me dia den cheche. Besra. Ma me dia den cheche wa pakem mu. Ma enkwe.
You Mama Tia Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Said Tibon Kosu amemwe die. Say about Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. About the influence because they never for you. I mean, here, Papa, what or one is not Chamai. Papa, you said delegate. Papa will say an argument Bobino. His son and one MPP as a matriarch. Now, Sapia Mohammed and just Kubia. Prof.
Yes.
Patrol, Patria, to see our wet market, a person. And a dear money cost so.
Now would only my dear Ecoso, your friend to acquire Ecoso.
And what?
Me pacho kawasem e me kebi e me pensem mfiri melum e me pensem mfiri melum e me pensem mfiri melum ko wenim
na media ebe ene wo ka no oro pese wo say say the petrol kwa no enu emfa to kwa no kwa na ekosro but we do say e to kwa na mi pato na no tablo petrol ko so say na e to kwa ya ana me boa asaba mampani mama aga ka say a free Ghana call a president Ukraine a quiet downtown was 10,000 miles to the end. I'm saying these are the other day, I'm saying 30,000 miles. That yes, this is war. I'm not one of moving to Quasa for insanity. Mama fan call Israel a brought the way you can say Iran and to Paris to cry. No, that's no more. Because I will take your phone and I want to know. And then you can't say, you can't talk. And I'm one and I don't tell. Now, where may I car? Would you have a cat and say, and yet Tibon Cosso, a baby, and a baby say, I buy any Tibon Cosso. And in your Maya Basa, and your margin, some other story, Iran war. Yes, Rano. Then a memory corner. And then make a say, Yogurt. Now the baby 8 good years. They are trying to 4 cities. And then make us say, Uba less than 1 year, 3 months and 2 months. What they call 5 cities. I have my papa, and not people come to have my mind. If you ever said the cost of warrior, what to do the man, the petrol in the air. Only no bustle, and then I can say, a Yatopa and a man of Basa, and this are buying. And yeah, the Bayam, or drop. Almost say about. Who knows that vote black voter? They say anything for to and say, oh, but they are good damn one. They say, oh, no, to Ganam say. Your mama, over so be cook and for an answer over here day. I'm moving to one amount. But the poor here, I must say, oh, there's a see. I want to just I win him. Also, what to go by a side the ball. And someone will come and another sitting and then you go for you, Marco, by a year day. Because the man is there and semi. That is a body. No more petrolins. Mukasa. Just like that, and that's what we have to. Maybe I won't come back to here. 2028, the bit I'm a Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, but your man.
May I say, hello, good evening.
Oh, my baby, so we correct you, NDC and Cafe, you better go to 470. I thought about the car for it. 70%.
Almost 70% of the FOB price.
I thought about car say it's almost
7,000. So Okana Sadia, Nadia sorry back kind of. No, that's Nyabutre. The BBC Nyabutre. Sesia Krano, Abai Ama, a year equiafo over 90% of the FOB. Oh, David, agrono be there. What can it be? Ebia, nyabutre. Ebia, now I wasn't alert. So what you say?
Oh, okay.
Now, and I will draw my attention. And I'm correct. And you know, just move on. Why?
Baudi, Amasuma Bruni can say, Chief Executive, Dr. Randy Abbey, I train your home. Or the cat, Uchi, all that you can say, Satam, Yena, because Satam, not Ukogama, not FOB price, $10,000 naturally. To the state, we have got 12,000. And I catch a cocoa for the some common 70%. That's not 70%. The dollar now, you have 14 to 15 cities. No, not 6,000 plus. So, yeah, buy and that's say, oh, you manifest to Munti, your mom 70. And I won't say a Gamasson, and I didn't solve a fem. So I say, then I can't share with it. Send me 18 years, it can so be a and say about 2,587. Instead, I never buy some bad correct. Into the end, you have to say, I'm buying can you hear that? I said about a cafe, how much now can you? No more, you're the man of the company, and then I'm a Coco Job and about 30%.
Mammy Nassin, I'm in for last call. Hello, good evening.
Fine, Abuchi.
Yeah, be patrol, Udini baby, or Casa free.
But you're very idiot because every send them area.
Okay, what am I patrol my into?
You would have missed one of me go for me, you know. I will watch a Oba National Chairman for MPC. And I will have we, Brian, Onozo Oba National Youth Organizer, Oba Sono, a delegate, you know, say if you want more or more money, Domnapa, or Mamidi, Napati, Yakujo, easy. And I'm a chapo preco, Kwame Japon, you will be a Michiano. Now, or they say, Mini Abacon, Ebecasa, no, Cassade, say, Abano, Nasa, to near me, and the Ebecode and Ukrano, and Gown and Phone Croneba. Now, say, I name one Kakra, say, and draw Nasi, a Pessia, and the Aya, say, and Gano Credia. Abanema, or to me, and say, Yetianum, this year, close out before I was start to move. And or they say, a teacher for a maybe a chuma or Juma and baby, if you are Muka Abusum, you know. The same thing is here a teacher for the 14 months in the Kitiama.
If I saw you see for mammy, me bribe, why?
You match it. Now, also, or Nema, what to you know, and it's a what you or you might for a year, not a quavo, you got you doing Diana and won't pay. Oh. And many do her within the better say a bet all
right.
Yo,
I wish I for had I'm remind when I married you made in this round. Cow say 21st clinic a boy Chidom Kesi Pamakacho that said one more year the sciatica originator, the sciatica patient, one more sooner, one more year the sciatica researcher. But people say Unamuntin no chipion. Ebesi utumpo mu a bomoding na fa wedi kire 21st clinic omaji wakadrem se won kran ha na ohwe omachi akwan a 21st clinic omachi akwan e wo Tantra Hill roundabout tema ubehu omo Roman Catholic Church na echi wo kasoa obo new market obum kwan no so sa hwehwe omo wo Kumasi ehua overseas baby SOMPA FM wo no na obetimi ne omo akasa e wo 0540 311 0540 311 311. Amasama Bruni. A quick one.
Yeah, Prof.
Quick one, 30 seconds.
Good. NDC youth in Karaga Omako Loki Minis, a district officer, Ewoho. Prof, at this time, we need to start calling them out, say, a sheer lawlessness. A whole municipal assembly. No more sorry, say because of Mupati and neglecting Monty. No more to a buying institution. That's a state institution.